many problems in the world today. And if you explore this concept of greed, Allah Azza wa Jal in the Qur'an describes it in a very articulate fashion. He says, وَمَنْ يُوقَ شُحَّ نَفْسِهِ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. It's very interesting language. Allah says, whoever has been protected from the greed that they have within themselves. In other words, Allah is acknowledging the fact that all human beings have what? They have greed. We're all greedy. That's not something that some people are greedy and some people are not. We are all, in fact, greedy. And then Allah says, وَمَنْ يُوقَ, which is the passive form. What that suggests is whoever has been given protection from that greed. In other words, there's something inside me and I can't even protect myself from it. يعني لم يقل وَمَنِ اتَّقَى شُحَّ نَفْسِهِ. Whoever was able to protect themselves from their greed. When I say, listen carefully now, if I say, I am able to protect myself, who's doing the act of protecting? I am. I'm the one protecting who? Myself. But if I say, I am being protected, when I use that kind of language, who's doing the protecting? Someone else. Someone unmentioned. Allah is saying in this ayah, you have to be protected from the outside. There's something from the outside that has to come that will protect you from the greed that lies deep inside of you. And that greed is inseparable from you. Which is why we find in the language of the Qur'an, not even ash-shuhha fi nafsihi, ash-shuhha li nafsihi. It's actually shuhha nafsihi, which means, for grammar students, that's an idafa. It's a mudaf and a mudaf ilayh. And these two are locked with each other. You can't separate a mudaf from a mudaf ilayh. So rhetorically, it is as though saying, Allah is saying human beings will never be able to separate themselves from greed. There will never come a day where your iman is so high that you're no longer greedy. It will never happen. Every single day, you and I will have to protect ourselves against greed. Every single day. It's going to be a moment-to-moment struggle. I started with major corporations and the polluting and the destruction of the earth. But let's bring it closer to home. Every mother is greedy. Every father is greedy. Every son, every daughter is greedy. Every child is greedy. A child says, you bought me this toy last week, I need the next one. You bought me, my son asked me for a foot soldier, the new kind of foot soldier from the Ninja Turtles. Right? Because they changed the foot soldiers, they're uglier now. They used to be a lot classier, but now they have like buggy eyes and skinny heads and it's kind of weird looking. But he wants the new one, because he's watching the new kinds of Ninja Turtles. So he says, Abba, get me the foot soldier. So I got him the foot soldier, and he's really happy when I gave it to him. And then he said to me, I need 3 more foot soldiers. Because I need one for each turtle. They can't, 4 guys fighting 1 foot soldier. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. That's not gonna, this needs to be somewhat of a fair fight. So, even a 3-year-old can have greed. You'll bring home a cake, you'll bring home M&M's, something small, minuscule, candy. And kids will crowd around, and one child will get 1 piece, and one child gets 2 pieces. What does the first child immediately say? So where's my piece? His piece is yellow. Can I have a yellow piece? Wait, your M is bigger than my M. Yours is a capital M. Why did that was immediate comparison, And so what you find, even as you ask children, you ask them, so if he eats 2, and you eat 1, will yours taste worse? Will yours taste any better? Does it take away from your happiness at all? Just knowing that somebody else has something, I want it. And you know what's crazy about greed? You don't feel it until you see someone else. A kid is sitting there, his toy is sitting there, he's not playing with it. His brother walks by. He looks at the toy. And what does the kid do immediately? Immediately, you become possessive in the presence of others. And when they're not around, you don't care. You know what we're learning? We're learning a lot of our greed is actually a result of our environment. As a matter of fact, when we're in solitude, sometimes you don't want anything. Sometimes the best thing you'll ever want is just to sit quietly and stare at the sky, or sit at the edge of an ocean and just look out at the water, and you want nothing. You're happy, you're fine, you're content. But when you drive down the street and you see a nice car, When you go to a nice neighborhood, you see a big house. When you travel to another city and you see like a better weather than Dallas, which isn't hard to find, right? Then what happens immediately? Oh, I want that. I want that. This greed doesn't just pollute the earth. It pollutes families. It pollutes families. It pollutes communities. And greed isn't just about money. Greed is about wanting more than your share in life. In everything. If you're the vice president, you want to be the president. If you're the assistant teacher, you want to be the principal. If you're the principal, you want to be, go beyond that and be the principal of a bigger school. If you're the janitor and there's another guy who's a janitor, you want to be the head janitor. If you're in the MSA and you're the secretary, you want to be the president. Everybody wants to keep moving up. If you're working and you got an entry-level job, pretty soon you want to be the manager. You just want to keep doing your own. You want to keep pushing yourself up. And you're never satisfied. You'll find people that are some of the most accomplished people in the world also live some of the most miserable lives. People that are making billions of dollars, they're making an insane amount of money. These people actually, most of them, have no life. They have no life. They have no family life. They have no vacation time. They don't like taking a vacation. They want to keep moving up, and they feel like when they're taking a vacation, the machine is slowing down, so they have to go back into it. And even if they're sitting on vacation, they're answering emails and they're still at work mentally. Their mind is never taking a break. This is what greed can do to you. Greed can actually give you a miserable life. Just like the earth itself is that's one result of it. We're just always miserable. We're always cynical. Everything that comes your way, you make fun of it. You put it down in one way or the other, either by way of your humor, or by way of your comments, or with a slight remark like a whatever. That's your attitude towards everything. You become cynical, which you know what that means? You don't know what it means to enjoy life anymore. Because you dismiss everything around you. To you, that's become the way to do things, to dismiss things around you. You can't appreciate anything anymore. What happens with teenagers when you take them on vacation? Why don't you look happy? Well, how's the hotel? It's an amazing view, isn't it? Yeah, that's okay, whatever. Can't appreciate it. You can't appreciate it. That's taken away from you. The other thing that's happened as a result of this overexposure to greed, constant and immediate gratification, you know what's happened? There is an entire generation of young people that are completely and utterly unmotivated. They are constantly drawn to do so much and acquire so much that they've just lost the will to accomplish anything in life. They can just sit at home and play video games all day and watch one episode after another on Netflix or on Amazon or on Hulu or on YouTube or whatever, and they just keep going. And you say, what do you want to do? Nothing. What do you want to do tomorrow? Today is the gift of the Qur'an. I know you've heard many lectures where you're told we have to learn the Qur'an, we have to understand what it means, we have to study it, we have to recite it, Muslims have to connect with the Qur'an. You've heard all of this before 1,000 times. I hope I can add just one new dimension to that conversation, just one. I'd like you to understand, from my own personal experience, I'm sharing something with you. There have been philosophical problems, there have been moral dilemmas, there have been emotional problems that I've had in my life. Right? Everyone has emotional challenges at one point or another. Everyone has a philosophical crisis at one point or another, an intellectual crisis at one point or another, a financial difficulty at one point or another. The greatest gift my teacher gave me, he said, when you have trouble, turn to Allah's book. Turn to Allah's book. And my motivation for learning Arabic, my motivation for studying tafsir was not so I can gain knowledge of the Qur'an. My knowledge was not my intention. And it's still not my intention. I am not concerned with knowledge. I am concerned with accessing a resource that will heal me. It's like I see the Qur'an as a well, and I get thirsty every so often. And I go back and I take, and I get healed. It relieves me, We have to understand the Qur'an as shifa. Qur'an is shifa. It is healing. A lot of people think, well, I read the translation of the Qur'an, I understand some of it, I'm studying some of it, I'm learning a little bit of Arabic. Yeah, but that learning, and I'm a big advocate of learning is not the goal. Learning is not the goal. Learning is simply learning to draw water from that well so you can take it. It's like saying, I learned everything about healthy nutrition, but you don't eat healthy food. What's the point of learning it? I learned everything about proper dietary practices, good exercise. I know what exercises you should do, when you should do them, what's the best time to do them, but you don't do any of them. I know everything about cars. I know when you should change the oil, how to fix a broken transmission, but you don't take care of your car. What are you doing? Why are you learning this? Why are you learning it? It's supposed to be something that helps you, right? I'm arguing that for the most part, we keep pushing this idea that you should learn, but we're not pushing the idea that you should take. Taking is different from learning, you see? And Muslims can learn a lot about the Qur'an and be as miserable and as materialistic and as greedy as the non-Muslim. Except they're really knowledgeable. There's no difference. Allah Azza wa Jal gave us this book because human beings deviate. And when human beings deviate, this book sets them straight again. And guess what? Soon after, they deviate again. And this book sets them straight again. And then they deviate again. And it sets them straight again. إِنَّ هَذَا الْقُرْآنَ يَهْدِي لِلَّتِي هِيَ أَقْوَمُ. This Qur'an guides to what is straighter. What is straighter. Meaning you go this way and it straightens you up again. Then you tilt over, it straightens you up again. وَيُبَشِّرُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ الَّذِينَ يَعْمَلُونَ الصَّالِحَاتِ. Then it congratulates believers who can accomplish some good deeds. Allah is acknowledging the fact that you and I will make mistakes, that you and I will have downs. There will be moments that we're down. But Allah is promising us, if you develop a real relationship with this book, I am guaranteeing you, if your intention to learn this book, is to benefit from its healing, Allah will open the doors of learning like you couldn't have imagined. Arabic will become a piece of cake for you. Nothing is nothing. Studying tafsir will become super easy for you. Why? Not because you're seeking the knowledge, because you need the healing from Allah's word. You want the word of Allah to be able to enter inside your heart. قَدْ جَاءَتْكُمْ مَوْعِظَةٌ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ وَشِفَاءٌ لِمَا فِي الصُّدُورِ وَهُدًى وَرَحْمَةٌ. You know, this counsel has come to you. This healing has come to you. You know, a cure has come to you. SubhanAllah. This is really the message I have for you today. Some of you will listen to this as just another speech. Just another, you just say a takbir at the end and some people clap and it's over. But I'm hoping some of you take this to heart. I can't help you build a relationship with the Qur'an. The only one who can help you do that is Allah. If you can turn to Allah and say, Ya Rab, I need this healing, I need this book that you sent so it can cure the problems of humanity. By the way, where does greed rest? Where does greed live? Inside the heart. So all of the problems of the world, we can never end them. We can never kill greed because it's a part of our heart. But you know what? We can heal it. We can control it. Allah said, remember in the beginning I said, you are to be provided protection from the outside. Guess what that protection is? That's the word of Allah. When the word of Allah starts going inside the heart, it starts getting stronger. You're able to curb your urges. You're able to control your addiction. How many young people, it's a tragedy, addicted to pornography. It's a reality. How many young people I've spoken to who even tell me it's normal. What do you want me to do? Everybody does that. It's not even a bad thing. They've even accepted that. The heart is so dead that they can say it's normal. That's an indication that the heart is dead. You know? How is the word of Allah going to enter that heart? I mean, think about that. These eyes that Allah gave you as a gift, when you violate them with those images, how are these eyes going to shed tears for Allah? How are they going to do that? You're going to use the same eyes? This same tongue Allah gave you so you can recite His word. You spend all day cussing with it, foul-mouthing people. You know? These same hands you raise before Allah and you put around so you can stand in front of Allah, these same hands you use to make gestures of vulgarity, to do wrong. The same hands. How will we become conscious of what we are? Allah says, وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ نَسُوا اللَّهَ فَأَنْسَاهُمْ أَنفُسَهُمْ. Don't become like the people who forgot about Allah. And when they forgot about Allah, Allah made them forget who they are. They forgot their own selves. You don't even know what you are. You're an honored creature of Allah. But because of this greed, you've just turned into something worse than an animal. Please, save yourself. Save yourself. I have to try to save myself. You have to try to save yourself. And wallahi, the images and the marketing and the entire machinery that is there to keep us at the animal level is so powerful. There's so much money being spent on projecting sexual images onto children. So much money is being spent in this direction. There's so much money being spent into normalizing deviant behavior and celebrating it and redefining what it means to be moral, redefining right and wrong. And people are swept up in all of this, and they are saying, well, the Qur'an says this, but I don't feel that's right, because their moral compass is so crooked now. When they see the straight, when you're lying down this way, the straight looks crooked. We've gone so crooked. The word of Allah seems like, I don't know if it fits with my moral compass. You don't have a compass anymore. That's the problem. This was the compass. This is the thing that doesn't change. And I can give you proof. Allah Azza wa Jal gives it Himself. Every single moral principle that is coming out now, every single idea that people are celebrating, one new idea after another, 10 years ago it was wrong, now it's okay. 10 years later something else will be okay. 10 years later something else will be okay. These moral lines keep shifting and moving every 10 years. It's a different world from the world of ethics. But the word of Allah gave us right and wrong, and He gave it at the time of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and to this day it is standing. وَلَمْ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ عِوَجًا. He didn't allow it the possibility to deviate. We deviate. We go from one trend to another, one philosophy to another, one standard to another, one definition of right and wrong to another. And if you can hold on to this book, the storm will come, but you will stand your ground. You will be able to stand your ground. And if not, you can be Muslim, Christian, Jewish, Hindu, atheist, Sikh, it doesn't matter. You will be swept this way or the other. On the shell, you'll look like a Muslim or somebody else, but on the inside, it's the same greedy, sorry excuse for a human being. This Islam came to transform us on the inside, not just to change our appearance on the outside. The real transformation of this religion is on the inside. The world will look like a different place when transformations happen on the inside. That is really the message I want to share with you. That change will happen if you, with the right attitude, come to Allah's book. If I come to Allah's book with the right attitude, something will change inside us. Something will change inside us. And I tell you, when that happens, and this is the last thing I want to share with you, I promise. When that happens, when there's light of Allah's book, فَآمِنُوا بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ وَالنُّورِ الَّذِي أَنزَلْنَا. When the light of Allah's book enters into your heart, then Allah compares your heart to a lamp. And a lamp is lit, but a lamp also gives light. Isn't that true? A lamp is not only lit on its own, but it also becomes a source of light for its surroundings. And a lamp is only beneficial in day or nighttime? Tell me. Nighttime. In other words, you will become people that are living in an age of darkness, in an era of darkness. Not only will you be lit, you will become a source of light for others. Because what is overwhelmingly surrounding us is darkness. We're at night. This is the night of human civilization. Technology has increased. Infrastructure has increased. Human knowledge has increased. But guidance and along with this, greed has also increased. Unrestricted greed has also increased. So spirituality has decreased. Decency has decreased. Morality has decreased. SubhanAllah. I pray that Allah Azza wa Jal uses you people and your children to raise a generation that represents the light of the Qur'an. That is able to become a beacon of light, not just for your own family, but for your neighborhood, for your community, for the people around you. And wallahi, this will not happen until we give Allah's book its due. So long as we keep pretending that the little bit of time we give to the Qur'an is enough, and everything else we can give time and this book doesn't get our time, and we don't come to it for really to transform ourselves, we just come to it for interesting information or beautiful recitation, and that's all it is to us. So long as we keep that up, the world will keep heading down in a downward spiral. and Allah will replace us with somebody else. أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَمْ عَلَىٰ قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا. Same surah in which Allah says, إِن تَتَوَلَّوْا يَسْتَبْدِلْ قَوْمًا غَيْرَكُمْ ثُمَّ لَا يَكُونُوا أَمْثَالَكُمْ. Allah says, why don't they reflect on the Qur'an? What's the matter? Are their hearts locked up? Are their hearts not working? Why aren't they thinking so deeply about the Qur'an? By the way, reflecting, thinking deeply, is that something you can do in a split second, or does that take time? Thinking deeply. It takes time. When Allah is saying, why aren't they spending time thinking about the Qur'an? What Allah is saying, why aren't they doing that? Oh, it must be the case that their hearts are locked up. And guess what they're locked up with? Greed. And then in the same surah at the end, Surah Muhammad, Allah Azza wa Jal says, وَإِن تَتَوَلَّوْا يَسْتَبْدِلْ قَوْمًا غَيْرَكُمْ ثُمَّ لَا يَكُونُوا أَمْثَالَكُمْ. If you people turn away, Allah will replace you with somebody else, unlike you. And they won't be anything like you losers. Literally. You want to play around with this book, not give it its due? It's not hard for Allah to replace the entire ummah with a better ummah. He's done it before. It's not new for Him. I know I'm supposed to be like the humorous guy and supposed to kind of crack a joke here and there and stuff, but sometimes it's just stuff on my mind. I gotta let it out. It's one of them nights. Sorry. But you know, enough with the entertainment, guys. Let's get serious a little bit. We're entertained enough, don't you think? There's enough entertainment in life. Who's there to get serious? I believe in humor. I really do. I think that for too long Islam has been presented as an angry message. I don't like it. But there are some things in Islam you should get a little mad about. That's a normal expression. It's a normal emotion. I'm not always angry. Actually, I'm usually not angry. That's my normal state of being, I think. At least I like to think. Ask my wife. But you know what? For some things, we gotta take a step back and kind of really see what we're doing. Really see what we're doing. I want to, first of all, before I let you go, I want to have you guys give a serious round of applause and a shout out to all the young people that put this thing together. Seriously. I have had an extremely long day. I'm already half asleep. I'm not even sure what I'm saying at this point. The switch was turned off sometime during Isha. But I came here simply because young people are putting in effort. Young people are putting in. I'm so proud of them. I haven't met all of the volunteers, but whoever you are, I salute you. I am so proud of you that you're putting this effort. And your parents should be proud of you. Your parents should not be yelling at you if your parents are here. Your parents should be proud of you. They should be giving you a hug and saying, good job. You do more of these things. I wish you spent more time with these other good Muslim people. You know, you have enough lousy friends. MashaAllah, you made some good friends here. And those of you that didn't volunteer next time. Volunteer. There should be like this whole hall should be empty. Everybody's volunteering outside. You know, that's how it should be. But guys, get yourselves busy with productive things. So you learn to think about more than yourselves. These young people, they could have been staying at home watching a movie. It's so easy, man. It's even on their phone. They could have been doing nothing. They could have gone to a movie theater. They could have gone to the hookup place down the street. I know all of them. You know, they could have done anything, but they volunteered. They volunteered, probably got yelled at by an uncle or two. You know, they probably got dirty looks. You know, all of that happened. They still volunteered. Man, I respect that. I'm proud of it. Let's keep that up. You know, let's keep that momentum going. MashaAllah, great job putting this together. And if, you know, it's very hard to book me. I'll be honest with you. It's very, very hard for me to come to do a speaking event. Usually when I come, I don't come back for a long time. But you guys, the youth here, you put an event together, I'll show up. I'm promising you that. You do. I live in this city. This is